Welcome to our lesson on determining slope. Now this lesson is going to feel very familiar to you because during our ratio and proportion unit, we did something called finding the constant of proportionality or finding the constant rate. And what you'll see is that the definition of slope is that it is a constant change. And so it's just like the COP, except for we're not looking at only proportional relationships. Today we're going to be looking at something called a linear relationship. So you'll remember from our proportions unit that in order for a line to be proportional, it had to be straight and had to go through 0, 0. Today we're not talking about proportional lines, we're just talking about linear in general, which is just a straight line. So basically slope is almost identical to COP or constant rate of change, but it's a little bit different because it doesn't have to go through 0, 0. All right, what we're going to be doing is plotting each set of points and drawing a line with a straight edge. A ruler, a protractor, a binder, something like that, which will make your line perfectly straight. Use the colors indicated for each set of points, then answer the questions on the back. It is important that you are using the colors that are listed. So you can use a crayon, a marker, a colored pencil, whatever pen, whatever it is that you have. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is label our points. So you'll see that we're using red. We're going to put a point at -6, 9 and a point at -4, 8. So I'm going to go to the left to -6 and then up to 9. I'm going to put a dot, and you're going to do the same thing on your paper. Now we're going to go to -4, 8. So over to -4, up to 8. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. Now it's a little bit hard for me on this program to draw a perfect line, but what I'm going to do is do my best, and I want you to do the same. I want you to extend the line as far as you can. It should be going through both points just like mine is. I know mine's just a tad bit off. Extend it as far as you can. Now we're going to be drawing a lot of different lines here, and so you're going to want to label this now because it'll become a little bit confusing later. This was line A, and we're not doing anything with it yet, so just go ahead and label it. Now we're going to draw a completely different line for line B. It also just happens to be red, and we'll talk about why later tomorrow during class. So -6, -5, I'm going to go over to -6, down to -5, put my dot, and then I'm going to go over to -3 and down to -4 and also put my dot. Whoops, sorry, that's a little too far. -3 and then -4. Okay, and now I'm going to again use my straight edge. Well, you're going to use your straight edge. And we're going to draw a line that goes through, and we want to extend, extend, extend. And now I can take my pen and label it line B. Okay, now on the back side, I would recommend, drawing in your lines and then going to the back side. It says describe in words how to find the slope of each line. Describe the movement from one point to the other. For example, 3 up and left and 4 left. Write the slope as a rise over run and then simplify. Okay. We always read our lines like we're reading a book. So, for example, or a word from the left to the right. So you can see this line is considered going down because I'm starting all the way to the left and going over to the right just like I would read a word. Now, what I can see from this point, let me grab a black color here, this point to this point, I'm going down 1 and to the right 2. So once down, 2 to the right. So what I'm going to write on the back side is, hopefully it'll let me write here. Okay, gotta make this a little smaller. Down 1, right 2. Okay, now it's asking me to write that as a fraction. So down 1 would be -1, right 2 would be 2, so -1/2. Now I'm going to go back and look at line B because it's going to be something different. You can't really see where my lines, my dots went, but it was here and then it was here. So for this one, I'm going up 1 and then over 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right here. Up 1. Right 3. Now I want to take this and I want to make it into a fraction, which is up 1, so 1 over 3. And you're going to continue to do this for all of the other colors. At the very